Case, would you trade an extra 100 miles for a cabin that feels like you're on a jet?
That is the question, because this is a brand new Lexus RZ 550e, which is a very nice car, but the question is, can it beat the benchmark, which is a Tesla Model Y?
Case, what are we working with on this Model Y?
Well, this slab of tofu is our long-term tester, Tesla Model Y Premium all-wheel drive.
Okay.
Which basically means that this is a long-range model.
Yes,
so it's
they
got
just
about,
kind of changed that name.
Yeah, exactly. They switched it up a little. It's got 327 miles of range, which is a pretty solid figure.
Yep.
It's got an 11.5 kilowatt onboard charger. But one of the really nice things with this car is if you go on a road trip and you're tapping into a public charger, you can charge at 250 kilowatts on the go with this, which means you should be able to re-up your range pretty quickly and get back on the road.
Which is ideal for road trips or really any type of charging scenario.
Yeah, so this would be a perfectly fine long distance car. We've used it as such. Some of the folks over at the office, I think it was Andre, actually drove all the way out to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah.
Had no problems whatsoever. These are also obviously very technologically advanced cars. So one of the big perks with this machine is full self-driving.
Absolutely, it's definitely a pro on the side of this. With the Lexus, we are working with some slightly different numbers. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Case, but the battery size on the Tesla is an 80 kilowatt hour battery.
Yep.
With 327 miles of range. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
With the Lexus, it is a 77 kilowatt hour battery, which you would expect
Similar range, maybe.
No.
Yeah, not at all.
We're looking at 229 miles of range. That's
Yeah.
a big dip, but 11 kilowatt onboard charger,
Which is
but
similar.
only 150 kilowatt charging. So that is difficult. Now, it does have capability for the Tesla supercharging network, which is great, but you're not going to be able to charge as fast,
Yeah.
which is where that Tesla is definitely going to come in handy over the Lexus.
So as far as a road trip vehicle goes, this is going to be worse because not only do you have less range, but it is slower charging when you go to a public charger. So it's not going to be as good of a road trip vehicle if that's something that you're considering doing with both of these cars, which I think a lot of people will, then you're going to take a little bit of a penalty here with the Lexus. But I think that this vehicle has a few things going for it. For one, it doesn't blend in quite as much as the Tesla because this car is so common and it is so minimalist. You don't really notice them out on the road. This one's got a bit more going on. I don't know if I would describe this Lexus as classically beautiful, but it stands out more.
It does, and what I like is that it has the classic Lexus shape grille, even though you don't really have a grille here to begin with, but
Yeah.
it has a little more character, I would say, than the Tesla does.
And a lot more contrast. Also a few interesting features. There's a little bit of black accent over the wheel arches, on the mirrors, but most interesting is the back end of this car.
Yeah, explain what we've got going on over here, Case.
Well, I like this taillight design. I think that's pretty good. This double wing is interesting. I don't necessarily hate that, but these appendages at the top of the tailgate, liftgate type of deal, because it's kind of a fastback.
Yeah, they remind me of vampire teeth.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's
A little bit.
it's interesting. You know, it's not the first time we've seen it, but it's certainly not a very common design feature.
No, so they're a little odd, but I do like some of the body lines in the side of this car. It's got a little bit more character, more motion in the styling of it. And again, if it's important to you to have a car that's maybe a little bit outside of the norm, stands out some more, then this definitely does that. Because
yeah, definitely way more than the Tesla does.
yeah, the Tesla, you're gonna lose in a parking lot of very similar looking cars. You might have to walk around to figure out which one is actually yours.
Yeah, that's very true.
Now the story with the Tesla is that, of course, they're not afraid to go in and sometimes literally reinvent the wheel. Sometimes that's cool. Sometimes it means they innovate in ways that are unique and make things feel fresh and maybe improve them. Other times, maybe feels like we're changing things just for the sake of changing them. One example is the key, if you want to call it that, which is this or your phone. Now, some people like this system. I gotta say, I'm still a fan of a traditional key, so that's going to be a point of preference for different people. But the real theme with the interior of the Tesla is minimalism. There's very little going on. It's a very clean dash. Essentially every function of the car is built into the center screen. There are a couple buttons on the steering wheel, couple buttons on the door, but you don't have a physical control for your mirrors. You don't have a physical drive selector. That's as well something that you do through the screen. So if you like more traditional vehicle controls, this is not going to be the car for that. In one way, you could look at this as being very futuristic and very innovative. I think the flip side of that coin is that it could also be looked at as cost cutting, because buttons are expensive to produce. A really nice car key is expensive. What do you think, Jen?
Well, I've said this before, but I don't think minimalism necessarily equates to simplicity. Because I just watched you try to figure out how to turn off the fan speed, and it took a couple seconds. I think everything looks really streamlined and clean, but when it comes to the actual user interface, I think it can be a little difficult.
Yeah, and ultimately, it is absolutely a car that you can get used to, and you'll know where all of the buttons and features are, but not everything on this vehicle is intuitive. And because everything is integrated into the screen, a lot of times there are more steps to access some of those features.
Exactly, especially climate controls. That, for me, is always a ding if there aren't physical adjustments for climate controls.
Yeah, so you got to go into the screen, tap it, sometimes 2 times since it was off, and everything is just kind of built into the bottom of the screen. Again, it's not excruciating to use, but my God. It's just not my favorite way to interact with a vehicle. So when these kinds of things first came out, like when the Model S hit the market and it had that big screen and almost everything was built into it, it was amazing because no car had done that before. But now, it feels just a little bit like cost cutting. Aside from that though, this is a very comfortable car. A lot of the tech is really well sorted and well programmed. Full self-driving is a really impressive system that we spent a lot of time testing. So it's not a bad place to be. How's the back seat?
Back seat is actually quite comfortable. A decent amount of headroom, even though we have that sloped profile of the car. A decent amount of footroom. I've got a whole screen back here that's going to give me everything from music to arcade games to adjustments for my HVAC settings. And I've got a little cup holder armrest back here as well. So I can't really complain too much in the back seat.
Yeah, it is. It's a comfortable car, and if you like screens, this one has it.
The interior, other than range, is arguably going to be where you're going to see the most major differences betwixt the Tesla and the Lexus.
Yeah, it's a bit of yin and yang going on. Obviously, this interior is very dark. There's not tons of contrast. We do have blue stitching.
Cool.
So that adds a wee bit of color into the interior. But overall, this vehicle, I would say, is a more traditional kind of interior and layout.
Yeah, yes, we do have another giant screen here, but we also have an instrument cluster. So I don't have to look to my right in the center of the car to see what my speed is or anything like that. This doesn't feel like the new EVs that are all coming out that are, more geared towards being like super futuristic and funky. This just seems like another really nice Lexus.
Yeah, so it's definitely not behind the times, but it is a little bit more traditional. Your climate is still built into the screen on this vehicle, but it's on a dedicated portion of the screen, and there are more physical controls.
But at least we do have physical dials for the heat.
Yeah, the temperature.
So the temperature, yeah. So that is nice, but adjusting fan speed and everything is still going to be on the screen. Not my favorite, but I'm happy to at least have some dials, including volume dial. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so some more physical controls on this vehicle, like the drive selector, for example.
So this is a little different. It's not just turn, but you have to push down and turn. Push for park. Better than the screen, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then I see the paddles on your wheel. Is that for your regen?
So you'd think it would be, but if we have this M mode, which means manual mode.
Interesting.
So this will actually give you the feeling that you are shifting gears, and we're gonna check that out in a little bit.
That is cool. So a couple neat features that they've added here to the Lexus. Of course, this is also a very comfortable interior. Overall, build quality and materials quality on this vehicle is going to be higher than the Tesla. That interior feels well constructed in terms of panel gaps and overall finish, but again, the materials aren't quite as nice. This is a more luxurious interior. I like the mix of different fabrics that we have going on. These door cards are really cool. This insert in the center has a great feel to it.
Yeah.
And plenty of amenities back here, even with this vehicle having an especially coupe-like rear end. I still have plenty of headroom myself, plenty of leg room, vents back here, heated seats, USB-C ports, 120 volts. So yeah, there's all kinds of comfort that makes this back seat a fine place to be.
Right. And no, one of the huge pros for the Tesla is that full self-driving we talked about.
Yep.
No, this doesn't have it. It has things like lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control, which to me are like the primary things that I would want driving anyways. But it does have things like Apple CarPlay. So if that's something that you're super in tune to, this has that where the Tesla does not.
Yeah, which is a nice added bonus. Behind all the bugs on the front of our Model Y, there is a frunk, which has 4 cubic feet of space. It's not tons, but this could be useful, especially if you're packing a lot of stuff, a lot of luggage and things into your vehicle. Then a little extra can't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to EVs, this is, I think, one of the largest storage capacities in the frunk. Whereas the Lexus,
ooh.
It's not only a little bit, it's, hold on, it's nothing.
Oh man.
It's a whole lot of big scary orange cables. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, no storage up here in the front.
It's just storage for scary orange cables.
Yeah, exactly. So bit of a ding for the Lexus in that part.
The trunk of the Model Y, as you see it now, has 29 cubic feet of space, which doesn't sound like a lot, and that is partly because of the roofline of this car. However, if you fold the seats down, you get 71 cubic feet, Jen.
Yeah, and from what I understand, you are able to like car camp in here if you wanted.
Yeah, so it can expand into a pretty usable space, which is nice. So if you do want to run some more errands with this car and make it be a useful machine, then you can actually haul around quite a bit.
I will say I do miss the option for putting the seats down manually.
Yeah.
So much faster. Just a little button and releases, but this does have adjustable buttons for the putting it up and down.
Jen, we are such detailed reviewers. We notice even the smallest details. Is this not very interesting?
That's got to be for aerodynamics.
Well, I'm assuming it's not for aesthetics because it took a while to notice it, especially with as much as is going on with the design of this car. But that's wow, that's interesting.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, but we should get to the trunk.
Yeah. When it comes to the trunk of the Lexus case, pros and cons compared to the Tesla Pro. As the trunk space sits here with the rear seats up, 35 cubic feet, so quite a bit more than the Tesla, but when the second row drops only up to about 60 cubic feet, so much less than the Tesla overall.
Yeah, so if you want to maximize space with the seats down, the Tesla's better. If you want more space with the seats up, this is better.
Yeah.
So it's kind of punch for punch. I can quickly fold down this seat because this one is manual. So
see, much
I
better.
agree. It's a little easier, even though this seat is folded back quite a bit. So I do have to jump ahead and fold it forward. Most seat positions, that would not be an issue, but since we were filming, the seat was reclined quite a bit. So yeah, it is a little more limited, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So as always, acceleration with this car,
Woo, pretty
Yes.
instant.
plenty solid, and then it
Yeah.
gets mad when you get near the car ahead of you. Fair enough, but I didn't even go full throttle there. We don't need to. We know that even though this is not the performance model, it's still as quick as you would ever need a daily driver to be.
Ever. Yeah, what's the 0 to 60 in this?
4.6 seconds.
That's, yeah, numerous seconds faster than anybody ever actually needs.
Yeah, 397 horsepower, which is a pretty solid number.
Huge.
389 pound-feet of torque. Like we said, it's all-wheel drive,
Yeah.
so it works in all weather conditions. What do you think of actually being in it and driving it, though?
I mean, I think it's fine. It's adequate. It's comfortable. It can be hit or miss when it comes to wind noise. These are prone to have wind noise issues because you have frameless windows. So the seal is not as tight as it would be with a framed window.
And of course, as quiet as this car is, any additional noise coming into the cabin, you're going to notice that much more.
There's no awesome engine.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not listening to anything else. I think the best way to sum up the experience of actually driving this car, if you're not having full self-driving doing it for you, which it is surprisingly good at and pretty capable of doing.
Whoa, what did you just say?
It's good at it. I'm not gonna lie. Even I think the technology is very impressive, even though it's personally not my style, my thing. But the car itself, if you take over control and drive it manually, it's very smooth.
It is. Yeah, I'll give it that.
It's very smooth, it's very easy to drive, it's calming, it's quiet, it rides well, and you know, there's just nothing in the driving experience of it that's very offensive to the senses, but it also doesn't leave you with really a lasting impression because it is just very kind of bland. This car goes down the road like a sheet of paper exits a printer.
It just works.
Yeah, it just
works.
It just kind of does it.
I wouldn't say anything with flying colors, but it just works.
Yeah. So, it's a good car overall. It makes for a great daily driver. It's very practical, but it's not the most engaging thing.
No. Now, Case, when it comes to specs for this RZ, usually these numbers go hand in hand with a really healthy engine size. 402 horsepower, 396 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah.
And 0 to 60 in just 4.2 seconds.
Why do all these cars beep at us every time?
Well,
we weren't even that close.
But I mean, that's pretty fast.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one's a little bit quicker than that Tesla Model Y as configured.
Right, this is the F Sport option. So of course it's going to be a lot faster.
Yeah, and I think it's an overall slightly more engaging car to drive. So tell me a little bit about the M manual mode.
This M button is going to give you the option to actually use these paddle shifters. So if I downshift here, you can feel the car actually shifting gears, which is pretty cool. Obviously there's not a real transmission where you physically shifting through gears, but to give the illusion that you are shifting forward, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's not quite as extensive as, for example, Hyundai's system.
No, the Ioniq 5N.
Yeah, that actually really pretty accurately simulates a paddle-shifted transmission, including the sounds, which...
Cool.
Yeah, I think is cool and it's fun. It's obviously a gimmick, but kind of neat. But still, this vehicle has a little bit more going for it in that sense. So if I was going to pick one based off of driving pleasure, I would pick this one, which is a good thing because as far as technology is concerned, and specifically self-driving technology is concerned, this doesn't go nearly as far.
No. But when it comes to the driving experience, listen how quiet it is. You are really separated from the road, the experience, which, I mean, maybe doesn't go hand in hand when it comes to really being in the driving experience of everything, but when it comes to comfort, this is second to none.
But what ruins my calm, and this is not specific to this car, but with a lot of Lexus and even Toyota products, is that some of the driver assistance technology can be pretty intrusive. So the Tesla does a good job of staying off your back, basically. It doesn't bug you a whole lot. These cars will constantly warn you, hey, pay attention, you looked at your passenger.
You yawned, do you need to pull over?
Yeah.
It's like a helicopter mom.
It is.
As a car. Great when it comes to safety, but maybe a little overbearing.
It's a little over the top. So that for me is a little bit, it detracts from the luxury and the experience of being in this vehicle, but otherwise this is a really nice car to be in.
Yeah, really no complaints. Well, in the end, Case, obviously these aren't apples to apples, more so caramel dipped apples and apple slices.
I apologize. I looked very concerned as you started talking because the Tesla is making a noise as if it's about to take off. Sounds like a hovercraft for whatever reason. So I don't really know what's going on there, but it doesn't seem like the climate's going. Besides me getting distracted, to your point, yeah, these two cars as they sit aren't necessarily the most direct comparison because that Lexus is about $62,000 and this is a little over $50,000. So that Lexus is just over $10,000 more expensive.
Right. I mean, you could get a Model Y Performance, which would be faster, just like this, and be roughly the same price point. So those would be more direct competitors. But, you know, if you are on the side where you're looking for a little more fun, a little more pizzazz, a little more luxury, you know, maybe the Lexus is for you.
Yeah, and I think in general, the Tesla is going to represent a better value. So you're going to get some better tech like full self-driving.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get better range and better performance per dollar with this vehicle.
Yeah.
So that one is a little bit more special, more exciting. This one is a little bit more cerebral and pragmatic.
That's true. Okay, good words. Yeah, this is definitely more pinpointed to a very specific type person, whereas there's no question why this has been a bestseller because it kind of fits the needs for most people.
But I'm going to say, since probably neither of these vehicles, do you hear it again?
I do hear
It's
it.
making a lot of noise for an electric car. I'm going to say with both of these vehicles, since they're primarily targeted at being more practical than fun and frivolous, my pick's going to be the Tesla.
I knew you were going to say that, I know. As much as I want to go towards the Lexus because you also get that reliability, you also get better service quality, fit and finish, luxury, I mean, the list goes on, 100 extra miles for $10,000 less. It's really hard to beat.
It's pretty big. So let us know what you think in the comments below. That's all for this video, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
But look at the strut brace, yo.
Damn.
Damn.